Dear children, good morning. Welcome back to the online session of Sri Gokulam Public School, Vadagara. I hope all of you understood the last lesson, French Revolution. Okay, in that lesson, we discussed the story of French people, the troubles faced by the French society under the monarchical rule, and what were the changes occurred in France due to the revolution. Okay, the revolution that created lot of changes in the entire world, especially in the European countries. Now, in this class or today's class, I am going to discuss the story of a new lesson, that is Russia, the socialism and the Russian Revolution. Clear it? The spread of socialist ideas that caused for revolution in Russia that we can discuss in this class. Clear it? Okay, then first of all, the age of social change. Due to the spread of French Revolution or the ideas spread by the French Revolution that created lot of changes. Everywhere, the European countries, they also argued for making changes in their administration. They wanted to convert their nation to be as an independent nation. When new ideas about individual rights and social power began to be discussed everywhere due to the French Revolution. And in India also, we discussed that earlier, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, then Tipu Sultan, as well as Henry Viven Teresio, the social reformers, they also encouraged by the French Revolution. The French Revolution created that much of influence all over the countries. Then that caused for creating or spreading new ideas in Russia also. Please see the chart. The impact of the French Revolution. Did you understand? Okay. Then next year, the different groups emerged in Russia. The last class we discussed that French society divided into three categories. First estate, second estate and third estate. But in Russia, the society was not divided like that, but among the people there was a division on the basis of the ideas they followed. The three groups, liberals, radicals and conservatives. First we can discuss about liberals. What were the ideas followed by the liberals? Listen it. Liberals, they wanted a secular form of the government, giving importance to each and every religion. We know at that time some of the countries like Britain, Austria, they followed or they gave more importance to Christianity. Instead of that, the liberals, they argued that they wanted to provide equal importance to each and every religion, and they opposed the uncontrolled power of the monarchy. Listen, that time the monarchy controlled the power. The people, they did not have the right to question the monarchy, and they wanted the individual rights, protecting the rights of individual against the monarchy. Clear it? Liberals, they wanted what type of the government? Giving equal importance to each and every religion as well as to provide the individual rights. Clear it? The liberals, they argued for a representative government, a parliamentary form of the government. And this parliamentary form of the government, then giving equal importance to each and every people, and they wanted an independent judiciary. Judiciary must be free from the monarchy as well as from the officials. And but at the same time they were not democrats. Why? They did not believe in universal adult suffrage. Listen, they agreed or they supported the voting right to the property sections of the society. The same time, they did not support the women's political right. They supported whom only? The property sections of the society only wanted to get the right to vote. So they were not democrats. Clear? Please see this. What were the ideas followed by the liberal? Secular form of the government. Then here voting right to the property sections of the society. They wanted to control the power of the monarchy and as well as individual rights. Clear it. Then now next group, that was radicals. What were the ideas followed by the radicals? The radicals, they wanted a nation in which the government was based on the population of a country. Radicals, they wanted to form a government on the basis of the population of a country, or that is the majority population. Clear it? Then whatever the population had the majority in a country, then on the basis of that majority they wanted to form the government. And the same time they supported the women's suffrage movement. They argued the women, they also wanted to get the political right or the right to vote. The same time they opposed the privileges of the great landowners. We know that one. In Europe, the landowners, they enjoyed more and more privileges. The radicals, they opposed the privileges enjoyed by the wealthy or the factory owners. Clear it? And then, but the same time, they were not against the private property. Listen, but they criticized the concentration of the property in the hands of few. They were not against the private property, but they criticized the concentration of the property in the hands of few. Clear it? We see this. What were the ideas followed by the radicals? Understood? They wanted to form a government on the basis of the majority population. Listen, and the remaining, please see that chart. Understood? Next, we want to discuss another group, that was conservatives. We discussed that earlier. Did you remember who were the conservatives? French Revolution we discussed after 1815. France, that was controlled by the conservatives. Conservatives means those who believed in the old order. They wanted to bring the monarchical rule in European countries. Listen, then, but these conservatives, they opposed the ideas of radicals and liberals. And after the French Revolution, they realized the need for change. Listen, these conservatives were also ready to create certain changes. Early in 18th century, they were not ready to make any changes. But in 19th century onward, they realized that it was necessary to bring certain modernization. Otherwise, the continuous revolution that caused for the destruction of the power of monarchy. So the conservatives were also ready to create certain social changes in 19th century. And they made changes as a slow process, or a gradually they introduced the changes, not at a sudden. Please see the chart. The conservatives, then they wanted to bring the monarchical power. At the same time, they were ready to make certain changes. Please listen here. Industrialization. In 18th century, industrialization occurred in Europe. In which country did you remember? England. In which field? Cotton textile field. Okay. Then the industrialization that created lot of changes in the society. French Revolution, that time we discussed, due to industrialization, they formed a new group of people. Did you remember that? That was the middle class people. Then industrialization that led to economic and social changes, economic development, and then the growth of new middle class in the European countries. And new cities came up and new industrialized regions developed, as well as the railways expanded and industrial revolution that occurred. Listen, from England that spread to the other European countries also. Then after the industrialization, the men, women and children all moved to the cities in search of job. Village areas, they were facing the lack of employment opportunities. But after industrialization, they heard job opportunities in the city. So from village, they moved to where? The cities. This created lot of troubles. Then sanitation facilities in the town areas, and then the slums that was overcrowded. Slums were overcrowded, not getting the good facilities to the people. The same time, the workers, they didn't get the good wages. They were forced to do the long hours work. such like problems created due to industrialization. Whenever there was a less production, industrial production, that time they faced unemployment also. They faced the unemployment, not getting the job opportunity whenever there was a decline in the industrial production. Please see this chart. Then the radicals and liberals, they wanted to create certain solutions to these problems of the workers. Clear it? They wanted to make certain solution to the problems facing by the workers, industrial workers. Next, we can discuss the role of liberals and radicals. Listen, the liberals and the radicals, they wanted to give more and more freedom to whom? To the workers. Then all industries were own individual properties, and the radicals and liberals, they were also the factory owners as well as they were also the property owners, and they realized the importance of workers in industry. They argued that the workers should get good education as well as the good health condition. If the workers had the good education and good health condition, then only there will be an industrial growth. The educated and healthy workers only could expand the industrial production. Then only the workers, they got more and more ideas how to improve the industries. Okay, so they supported the workers' education and the good health care of the workers. Listen, liberals and radicals, they argued should be provide the good health and good educational facilities to the workers. Please see the chart. Listen, the role of liberals and radicals. Then there is liberals and radicals, they got more wealth through trade relation with other countries. Clear it. The liberals and radicals, they opposed the privileges of the aristocracy and they believed in the value of individual effort. They gave more importance for the individual effort, and the societies would develop, individual freedom was ensured, and the poor could work and capital could operate without any restrictions. Listen, if we provide more freedom to the workers or individual, we could get more and more profit without any restrictions. Then working men and women who wanted changes rallied around liberal and radical groups and parties in the early 19th century. Listen, in early 19th century, then the working men and women, they gave more and more support to whom? The liberals and radicals. They wanted to improve their condition, so they gave support to the liberals and radicals. And next, another group, nationalists. These liberals and radicals, they gradually turned to be as the nationalists. They wanted to get freedom to their nation. They wanted to unify their nation. Clear it? Now we can discuss what were the demands of the nationalists. The nationalists, they want to put an end to the monarchical rule. Especially in France, we know after 1815, the conservatives, they regained the power of the Bourbon dynasty. They wanted to stop this. Instead of that, they wanted to make their nation to be as an independent nation or a nation state. Clear it? Then in France, Italy, Germany and Russia, the revolutionaries, they worked to overthrow the existing monarchies. In Russia also, even in 20th century, there existed the monarchical rule. So these countries, they argued for getting the independence from the monarchical rule or freedom from the monarchical rule. Clear it? So these nationalists, they inspired the people to organize the revolutions against the monarchical rule, and they wanted to convert their nation to be as an independent nation. One such example, then Giuseppe Mazzini, you know who was that? He was an Italian revolutionary. He influenced the people all over the world to organize the revolutionary activities. Clear it? The detail you can study in the next year, 10th standard, about whom? The Giuseppe Mazzini. Please see the chart, the role of nationalists. Nationalists, they wanted revolutions to put an end to the monarchical government in Europe in 1815. And the revolutionaries in France, Italy, Germany and Russia, they worked to overthrow the existing monarchs. And Giuseppe Mazzini, who was that? He was an Italian revolutionary and he inspired the people all over the world. Now I am going to stop the class here. I hope all of you understood. All of you have to complete the note. Don't forget, I will send the questions, and if you face any troubles, you have to call me and clear that out. Don't forget that. And I hope everyone completed the note. I am getting only some students notes on time. The remaining also have to do it well. And the last lesson class test we conducted, then that also some students they didn't write. I called some of the students and they told me some of the reasons phone is not getting on time. That is the reason. So anyway, please, you have to attend the class test. You have to complete the work on time and be so happy at home. Listen. Thank you.